body structure thing. Welcome to the continuation of our last episode on intelligent threads. We are a body structure thing, and our team is devoted to improving the day-to-day life of the individual through preventative and recovery care based on structural improvement of the body. I'm your host, Ron Buford, and with me is my co-host and developer of the SRM Body Structure System and Intelligent Threads product line, Brian Brzezinski.
Hello.
How's it going, man?
Pretty good.
Ooh, we got so many questions on social media that we had to do a continuation of.
Bonus.
In the Magic Shirt Part 2. So we wanted to really try and answer as many questions as possible from what we get from all of the social media platforms.
Absolutely.
So that we can, really get as much detail out there as possible for us to, really portray and have everybody understand what this is all about. So,
absolutely.
So we took about 7 or so questions, and we're going to address and dive into those. All righty?
Cool.
So
hit me up.
let's go. All right. I think we had this like all over the place. Just like, is it safe? Is it going to give me, radiation
Whatever.
poisoning or cancer or
No.
anything like that? So let's go into the safety aspect of it for a little bit.
Absolutely. Well, my wife and my kids wear them all the time. So I would put my wife and my kids in something. In my family, they all have Intelligent Thread shirts.
Right. And for multiple years.
Yeah, for 5 years now.
5 years now.
And I would say it's improved their life dramatically. But I've had ladies that have worn it,
Mm-hmm.
become pregnant, wore it through their pregnancy, and then wrap their kids in it afterwards.
Right. And my wife is actually doing that right now.
There you go.
Wearing it while
Yeah.
pregnant. So
So, you're not supposed to drink if you're pregnant, but so we can wear a shirt, and we have no ill effects that we've seen
Right.
at all. So,
So far, so good on safety, I mean,
Yeah, no,
no
it's
issues
totally fine.
whatsoever. And, so far, how many of these have you sold over the last 5 years, you would estimate?
probably thousands, yeah.
Thousands.
Yeah.
So no issues there. So is it safe? Absolutely. Okay.
Absolutely.
This is another one that popped up a bunch, especially with.
I've never had anybody call and say anything about
Yeah.
anything.
Oh,
so.
yeah. Another question that has popped up, especially within kind of my crowd, is will it give me an athletic advantage?
No. but okay, so it's going to help you to perform to your ability. So once your body gets back to its original position, then you're going to perform to your ability. Now, your ability is probably not as good as Michael Jordan's. In
Right.
fact, very few people probably ever. In fact, his 30% is probably not as good as my 100%. Not even close.
5'5".
Yeah, 5. Yeah, not even close.
Right.
But it will help you once the structure settles and gets right. It will help you get to hopefully your full potential.
Right.
So it will, because it unlocks you. Now it's not. I had a guy ask me one time, "Will it make me Kevin Durant?" No, it won't make you Kevin Durant. I mean, no, but it will help you play. It will help you play to your full potential.
Sure. And I would caveat that to my experience. I was an athlete, many years ago and a lot less poundage. But for me, when I wear it while working out, and I've only done that with, when we made some tape Intelligent, right?
Right.
And so it's only a few times. But I felt like I could breathe better.
Yeah,
My
for sure.
muscles didn't tire as much, and I could push myself harder.
Yeah, when you have immediate recovery while you're working out,
Right.
then you can go faster, stronger, harder, and the whole 9 yards.
Right. So will it give me an athletic advantage through training and utilizing it while you're training and recovering? I think absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Can it get you to a faster recovery, faster performance of your individual talents?
We've seen that as well.
Right. Then the answer is yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But it's not magic. It's not going
Sure.
to make you play way better.
Right. It's not going to give you extended coordination to where you can, hit 100 mile an hour baseball.
And most of the time when I have somebody lay on the table and I kind of build the shirt up a little bit and then I put it on them, I say, "Do you see how you don't feel anything?" And they go, "I don't feel anything," because it's very subtle but yet very powerful. I mean, people think it's about to shock them or something.
Sure.
But then I show them how the muscles. Is there a question about the push test in there?
Yeah, it's at the very end, but
Okay, well,
Yeah.
we'll wait to the end.
well, we can dive
Okay,
in.
go on the
We
first.
can dive in that one. Yeah.
So on the Intelligent Thread website, there's a thing called the push test, and basically you push under the arms on the IT band, the hamstring, the calf, different places through the body where the muscles are engaged tight. And once you lay the shirt on them, you re-push those spots, and you find that there's not as much tension there, and a lot of times the soreness or pain goes away
right,
because the tension let go.
right,
So what you have to do first is you have to push on them first, then put the shirt on them,
right.
because that's important, and
Sure.
then you can push on them again with the shirt on. What happens is when those muscles release, then the body starts letting go. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes for the muscles to sustain the relaxation.
Right,
So people always ask me, like, how long should I wear it? Well, at least 20 to 30 minutes.
right.
You can put it on for a couple minutes
Sure.
and you'll get some benefit, but after 20 to 30, you get a lot more benefit.
Right.
Immediately, though, the muscles seem to let go,
Which
which is crazy.
just blows my mind.
But the cool part is, if they don't believe, I take that shirt right back off of them within about 2 minutes, and I re-poke or push on their structure where we identify the soreness,
Right.
and the soreness goes away.
Well, and I think
I'm sorry, when I take it off, the soreness comes back.
comes back. Yeah.
And then when I put it back on, and now it's not going to necessarily take the soreness away in certain muscles that are taut, because those muscles are still being held by the bones.
Right.
But you still, but when you push on the few muscles that we identified in the push test, those muscles seem to react, and then that's what unlocks the body, helps the body get back structurally.
Right. And you did this to me during the CrossFit Open a couple of months ago.
Yes.
And it was me and our really good chiropractic friend. And we were here for a different reason. I was like, dude, I did these wall walks.
Oh yeah.
And then, I couldn't, and you were here with me too, right? And I couldn't even move my shoulder up. And did a couple of move on me and move my shoulder, and it almost went back to normal. It took me a couple of weeks for it to get that strain
Right.
out of there, but perfectly fine, and you punched on my underarm. I was like, oh God, that
Ow.
hurts so bad. And he goes, watch this. He took some tape and threw it on my back, and it was like an immediate relief of
Right.
pain. Because I was in pain, and you're just, I was like, how's that feel now? I was like,
Where'd it go?
it's almost gone.
And it's- Go
and
ahead.
our chiropractor friend was just like,
What?
oh my gosh, like what in the world did you do?
But it's because it released the muscle that is engaged.
Right.
Now, if that muscle was taut, or it was being pulled apart,
Right.
it wouldn't let go.
Right.
Unless you do some outside movements
Sure.
that help put the bones back in place.
Sure.
And we have plenty of movements and stretches we can go over with that. So.
Right. That's another episode. But
Oh, okay. We'll just little
so
teaser.
we'll save
teaser.
that one for later. So, but
Awesome.
movement with the shirt for the day-to-day activities. Future episode.
Future episode.
All right. Next question we got was, I'm not an athlete, so why would I need one?
You're not an athlete. Oh,
No.
you're talking about the question. Okay.
These guns say different, bro.
What?
My wife likes them anyway. I mean,
That's all that
so it
matters.
goes.
All that
Yeah.
matters. So great question, because we're thinking for sure it makes sense with athletes.
Right. Right.
Most of my athletes, they're like, oh, I want one.
Right.
Which totally makes sense.
Sure.
But then I have a lot of stay-at-home moms.
Right.
Men and women in the workforce.
Right.
We have people that are a little bit up there in age than others. And what we found is that it helps them all. And so I had a truck driver. He buys one. And I asked him, I said, how did you use it? He goes, I put it over my seat in my truck. And I
wow.
just sit on it while I drive, and it helps me so much. I go, that's genius.
So it didn't make him like as tired, like sitting.
He said he's not near as sore. He drives trucks all over the nation. He's just not near as sore.
Not stiff and
Yeah.
like driving all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And then I love flying in mine because I used to fly a lot. I don't fly as much because no one flies as much. But
True.
when I fly in mine, I found over 30 minutes an hour if I have the myoequilibration on, then I'm just not near as stiff or sore. So you can travel in it. I think people that sit in the office all day.
Yeah.
I have people that sit in it. I have construction workers that will work in them.
Right.
And they get home and they feel good, or they're a whole lot less beat up than they normally are.
What about something like workers' comp in the office? Like, how do you think that would work?
I think it would I think it would decrease it. No, we need to do a study on that. I think
Right.
that's definitely a study.
Oh
we
yeah,
need to
no,
do.
that's definitely a test we need to do.
In fact, I'm actually talking to some people, a line of profession that I think would help them a lot. We're
Right.
trying to do a study with them right now, and we just need one more yes. And if we can get this
Sure.
yes, then we can start that study on those people.
So how would that help in that type of scenario where you're decreasing a company's ability or decreasing the amount of money a company could or would pay within workers' compensation?
Well, I mean, you just teed that up great for me. But yeah, so
That's what I do, bro.
it decreases the compensation. If you can, productivity is what it's all about. So,
Well, but in what manner? Like what could it save?
well, I think if the structure was right,
Mm-hmm.
then it's going to be less likely for you to hurt yourself.
Right.
Then it's less likely to miss days of work, and then your productivity will go up.
Okay. So less like lifting stuff or back pain.
Yeah, I was thinking we really need to do a deal with a company that moves boxes a lot,
Yeah.
that deliver to your house. I think we should outfit those people.
In
I think it would be huge.
make their uniforms intelligent.
I think so.
Interesting.
Because get an undershirt or something, and
Right.
and I think they would. I would imagine
Right.
that the people getting hurt moving heavy boxes all day is high.
Oh yeah.
Sitting in a truck, moving boxes, sitting in a truck.
Sure.
Well, you help them stay loose
Okay.
and they feel better, then you would think they would just save a ton of cash and productivity. And you don't have people out, you don't have them sick.
Right.
I think it'd be phenomenal.
Pretty huge.
Yeah.
Now, I know this is a little bit of a setup question, but I still have to think about percentages, right?
Yes.
I always like to think, okay, if we can improve somebody by wearing the shirt for 2 minutes, 20% improvement of their body structure, 80% less pain,
Right.
if we can improve the quality of life for an individual within, synergy release method at
Right.
50% or greater, massive, right? What do you think the decrease in workers' compensation would be for a company if, now this is all theoretical, of course, because
Of
we
course,
haven't done
we
any
have not
testing. We
done
don't
no
know. This is
testing.
pretty much us just, talking and
yeah.
spitballing here.
Right.
But
Yep.
where do you think low side, high side?
Well, let's just say if we could show a 1% decrease on a huge company, how much money would that save them?
Millions.
Yeah, but I think we could show a 10, 20%
10 to
on
20.
on the low side. High
Yeah.
side, 50,
50,
60.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That would be
No,
my
I mean,
assumption.
That's kind of my.
I mean,
lines
that's
of
what I thought the
thinking.
soccer team would do in the previous episode,
they
and
did
it was
100%.
100%. And I was
Yeah,
going, oh my
that's
gosh, this
that's
is
so
crazy.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a great.
Well, and just in our preliminary test we did on the posture app, which I still can't remember the name of the whole posture app. I'm gonna have to look that up the next time, but 20% decrease in head weight.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, just in 2 minutes, and I was just like, wow, if we can just do a 20% average of any type of improvement with intelligent threads,
20%.
is massive.
Yeah.
I mean, that would save.
And that's within
a
2
big company.
minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, if they wore it all day and moved in it, because the
Right.
more the soccer team moved in it, the better they
The
were.
better they were.
So the more that you move in it,
Right.
the better you are. And it's funny too. I had this lady come in the other day, and she goes, "Brian, I love it. I love your intelligent threads. I sleep in it every night." I said, "Oh, that's great." She says, "When I sleep at night, sometimes during the day I'm hurting, and then I put the shirt on and go to sleep at night." I go, "Oh, okay, great." She goes, "And sometimes when I roll over in bed, my hip goes pow, and my pain stops, and it feels good the next day." I said, "Well, why don't you wear it during the day and just roll around in your bed, and then it will stop during the day, and you have to wait till nighttime."
Well, and I think that goes into another question, and that I fall into as well, because you and I were having this conversation a couple of weeks ago about when I was running and hitting, with the heavy vest on, and you're like, well, why aren't you wearing it while you work out? I was like, because I like to wear it at night and
Right,
sleep
right.
really well, and it's too hot because it's polyester,
Of course.
right? And I can't wear it in 85 in Texas heat. And,
Of course,
just
Texas heat.
just cook you, right? But it goes to I only have one,
Right,
right?
right.
And then leads me to another question: why is it so expensive?
Yeah. So first, the way that we had to build the machine,
Right.
and then the process it took to do it, it was just ridiculous.
Sure.
And then we had to get the whole legal aspect of it done. Then we had to do testing, and we're still doing testing.
Right.
So that was all a huge cost. And then now we're working. And at first we were only working with, a few shirts. So when you try to make something one,
Right.
it's expensive.
Sure.
Now that I've actually, when we first came out, they were actually $600 a piece.
Woo!
But during COVID,
Actually, I say that, and I think I bought 2 of them at 600
Yeah.
piece. But I'm just saying.
so then, yeah, exactly. Well, then COVID came out,
right.
and I had a lot of free time on my hand, and I actually came back and I streamlined the whole system. Now it's
Ooh.
way better. I was able to pass the savings along because I want it to be cheaper. I want it to be able
Sure.
to go through, but there's just so many costs that involves
Well,
in starting a
and-
company and going forward.
Sure.
And,
And you're still really in alpha beta testing, right? I mean, it's really still.
I think we'll always be there
Yeah, but I
for the
mean,
next 30, 40 years. But that's another story.
I know, but I mean, from the aspect of it's still a relatively newer product. Yes, it's been on the market for 5 years. We've done a lot of testing, but we haven't really dove into the manufacturing, the lines, and because we want to make sure all the testing and
Correct.
the product
Yeah.
is done perfectly,
Yes.
correctly,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Before we take that jump into
Right.
manufacturing and hire and develop that could lower costs, right?
Absolutely.
And I think because it's expensive, like I think right now they're sitting around $300 for
Right.
pretty much everything. But
Well, I mean, like when the VCR first came out, they were $1,000.
Oh, yeah.
Now
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't now you can't pay somebody to take a VCR. But as the product develops and as the market gets higher, it goes through the bell curve and
Yeah.
everything drops and it should get better. So
Okay.
we're excited.
very good,
Yeah.
very good. Okay, all right. Another big question. We kind of answered this a little bit, but it's like I sit in an office all day on the computer. What about office settings? And I think probably a really good one to answer that question too, because my job is mostly sitting in a chair all day long, doing reports and looking at analytics.
Right.
And what I've noticed with the office, how your lower back gets a little tense and
Right.
you're sitting there and your arms are out here. So your shoulders, wrists from typing and everything. When I wear it all day in the office, I don't feel anything.
Well, that's awesome.
And that's what's incredible. So I feel like I get up and I'm energized to go for a workout. And
Yeah.
a lot of times when I don't wear it, I'm like, man, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm ready to just, go home, play with my kid, say hi to the wife, watch a little TV and knock off,
They're saying that smoking's really bad. We all know this, but
Mhm.
they say sittings ranks up
Right.
there too. They say
Right.
sittings is like really, really bad. And it's because you're stiff, stuff doesn't move around, and you're bending the legs, and so the blood flow has a hard time going through the body. But if you can keep those muscles relaxed, then the blood flow constantly runs through the body at a better rate.
Right.
So it's got to help it.
Yeah.
It's got to help.
Well, I think that's a great lead into the next question.
We're on a roll.
I know, right? A lot of questions is like you guys kind of touched on it here and there, and if you really listen, you can catch the tidbits of all the. I think everybody understands what the primary benefit is. It's a structure thing,
Mhm.
right? We're working on the structure. Got to do that every episode, bro. But what are the secondary, tertiary, quaternary type of benefits that we've seen? And I think as we are testing, the more
Right.
and more it goes, and Christian, please, jump in because you've tested some of the, tape that we made intelligent and all those things too. But off the top of your head, what are some ancillary benefits?
Well, I think you could go do any study that has to do with the benefits of a proper structure or
Right.
the neutral anatomical position where all the bones are in the correct anatomical phase. I think any study at that point would be relative to what we've done. So if we can stabilize the body, then
Mhm.
any of those studies make sense. There's a lot of stuff that's already been done. But, we talk about sleep, we
Yeah.
talk about blood flow, we talk about recovery, we talk about just sore and achiness.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would help people in movement. So
Okay.
like
Better range of motion.
better
Okay.
range of motion, but like stability in walking.
Stability. Okay.
Because if everything was in the right position, then you're more stable. So and then
Right,
from
right.
there,
That's a good
everything
point.
kind of branches out from there. Because I had one of my clients. He said, "Ron, we went to the fair and ate a bunch of fried food, and my daughter started hurting her stomach." I said, "Honey, put the shirt on." And I said, "Really? You told her to put the shirt on? It's for the stomach." She
Right.
said, "Yeah." So she puts it on. She goes, "Dad, this is silly. This thing doesn't work." And I was like, "Well, what happened?" He goes, "Well, about 30 minutes later, her stomach felt better, so she went to bed."
I wonder if that's blood flow.
And I don't
Or-
know.
or-
It does not. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so it has to be something like that, right? Well, she got hot in the middle of the night, so she got him, took it off.
Yeah.
About 30 minutes later, her stomach started hurting again.
Interesting.
So she said she put it back on, slept the rest of the night, got up, and she was fine. Yeah, so I hear all these different stories
Right.
about
A lot of anecdotal stories.
a lot of anecdotal stories,
Yeah.
and then we need to go back and follow that up
And
with testing. So
follow-
we need
yeah.
to go to the fair, eat a bunch of fried food.
Dude, I'm all about some fried Oreos, bro. Give me a fried Twinkie.
But we need to go,
Yeah, no, I mean,
finish up on those tests.
but that's why we was like,
I mean, it's like I said, we could be tested for the next 30 years to figure some of this stuff out.
totally agree.
Yeah.
But that's why you and I have agreed to like just keep on
Knock it
doing
out.
those testing, and
Yeah.
the more we dive into, the more testing. It's like, oh, we found this little tidbit. Let's
Right.
test that.
And I think some people would have a stomach pain, and it wouldn't take their pain away because
Sure.
it has nothing to do
Nothing to
with
do
blood
with-
flow or structure.
Right.
And so that's where it is. It's like, I had this happened to me, and it took my pain away, but this person had the exact same pain, but caused by something different, and
Sure.
it didn't take it away. Because it's not, my shirt's not a pain reliever.
Right.
Myoequilibration doesn't relieve your pain.
Right.
But if we can get the anatomical structure correct, if you can, everybody knows we should stand upright. Nobody
Sure.
wants to be the guy
Right.
that's leaned forward.
But because it fixes the structure,
Then all of
it
a sudden everything else-
decreases the pain.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
It's
So
a byproduct.
It's a byproduct. It's a
Yeah.
secondary benefit.
I had one lady, she called me. She says, Brian, I put your shirt on. It didn't immediately stop my pain in my hip. I go, what's wrong with your hip? She goes, I need hip replacement. I was like, well, okay.
Yeah.
But I showed her I said, hey, why don't you do these stretches?
Right.
Well, she came in my office about 2 weeks later, and she's like, oh, yeah, it doesn't really hurt anymore. Now, if I'm on it all day,
Right.
then it hurts. But as
Sure.
long as I wear the shirt and do the stretches, then I feel good. Will that work with everybody that needs hip replacement? No,
Right.
because every case is different. So that's where it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So like, what does it help? It could help all kinds
Well,
of stuff
And we learned that with
indirectly.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we learned that when we did that posture app,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah, that was
because we thought it
amazing.
would be one thing
Right.
that everybody saw corrected,
it was multitude of
and
things.
it was all dependent upon the individual's
Correct.
body structure of what it corrected. So,
and their history.
and their history.
Right.
Right. So to pull up a little bit more details on that test, 100% of everybody that we tested had some sort of positive structure improvement.
There you go.
100%.
100%.
Right. The biggest correlation with everyone was the head weight.
Yeah.
Right. The improvement of head weight. I think the average was a little over 20% of decreased head weight.
Right.
Right.
After 2 minutes.
After 2 minutes.
Two
Right.
at the most 5, but 2
At the most 5, but yeah, I mean,
2 minutes or
2 to
so,
5
yeah.
minutes is like, come on,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
fixed it 20%. 10 minutes, who cares?
Right, exactly.
But then hips was 50% of the people saw hip improvement, 80% of the people saw neck improvement, 20% saw shoulder improvement.
Right.
And what was interesting is that one of the first things it corrected was the hips, which
Right.
was interesting.
Yeah.
But what was funny is like one of my really good buddies, also a coach at CrossFit 737 in Dripping Springs. He was structurally straight up top,
Right.
and you could see even the striations in his shirt and his shirt poking out because his hips were so jacked
Yeah.
one way. Well, in the next picture, I was like, man, we messed up his shoulders. I was like, what did we do?
Right.
But his hips corrected, but his shoulders had already self-corrected with his hip structure.
Right.
And then threw his shoulders
Exactly.
completely the opposite way. But then we gave him some of the intelligent tape, and he said about 30 minutes later, his shoulders started correcting. So it was like a type of structural realignment that
Right.
took about half an hour.
That's crazy.
And I was, whoa.
Yeah, and
It's insane.
And I think long term, I think more and more. I think the longer you wear it, the more stable your structure can be. I worked on. There was this basketball player. I was at the facility. I met him. First time I ever met him, and we were up there showing the owners of the team and the coaches and everything
Right.
our technology.
Right.
And I've worked with that team for a while, but the athlete was like, "Oh, this is really cool," but I didn't have anything to sell or anything. They said, "Well, let us know when you have something to sell." I said, "Okay,
Right.
this is early on."
Sure.
Well, I forgot all about it. A couple years after that, his manager calls me and goes, "Hey, I saw that you have stuff for sale now. Oh, we're gonna buy it." I go, "Oh yeah, great." So he buys some. About a month later or so, they buy some more
Mhm.
shorts, shirts.
Sure.
About a month or two after that, they call me and goes, "Hey, why don't you just go work on them? Do some SRM on them." I
Sure.
said, "Okay." Never touched the guy.
Yeah.
Well, when I get there, now he's been wearing it for probably, I think, 2-3 months at this point, maybe a little bit longer.
Right.
What I saw a couple years ago, structurally in the guy, was about in my opinion, was about 70% corrected.
Wow.
From what I saw. So, but he was in there moving in it.
Right. Well, I mean,
I think moving in is very important.
And that brings us to our final of the 7 questions. We kind of bounced around a little bit, but how to best utilize with the shirt. Like, what do you need to do to really maximize the structure when you buy the shirt or have the shirt?
Yeah, we're going to come out with some videos and some instructional videos of what to do structurally, really, and just movements, or some people consider them stretches, but really movements.
Movements, yeah.
Because the shirt releases the muscle that holds the bones out of place.
Yeah.
Or pulls the bones out of place. I think both. And so some of the bones will automatically correct because there's enough inside force to pull them back straight, but some of the bones won't.
Yeah.
And so, but if we can move around, we can encourage those bones, just like the lady in the roller coaster.
Yeah.
The roller coaster moved her neck right.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying get on a roller coaster.
Right.
But
the chiropractic roller coaster. The body structure roller coaster.
There's an idea.
It's a structural thing, roller coaster.
Strap them in by the ankles, and anyways.
Sorry, I went too far with that one.
Yeah. Anyways, but there's definitely some movements. Like one movement we found very beneficial is taking a deep breath.
Okay.
Because of how much tension's around the rib cage. By taking a deep breath, you can expand your rib cage.
And that's one of the first things that you work on in SRM is the rib cage.
It's what I like to start there because we like for people to breathe. We think it's important for people to breathe.
That's a key factor in life, right?
Yeah, and then like one's open the jaw real big. And when you do that, it actually takes pressure out of the pelvis.
Oh, wait.
Because it's connected, because it's one body.
So opening your jaw
helps your pubis bone.
There's
got to be some jokes there, but we're not going there.
Yeah. Yeah. My head is just like, okay, I'll pause there and let you continue.
But, and then some real basic stretches, just like grabbing your elbow and pulling across your body.
Right.
Doing it the other way, doing it above your head.
Sure.
Grabbing your elbow above your head and pulling it across. Hold it for, 5-10 seconds.
Right.
And then take some deep breaths while you're doing that.
Okay.
Kick your leg. Shake your leg. Shake your arm.
Yeah.
There's like
like pulling it out.
And there's a way. Yeah. We'll go into detail on these later.
Yeah.
But there's you can touch your index finger to your thumb.
Right.
And have somebody try to pull it apart. Typically, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
On most people. After you shake your arm, the bone in your arm will actually transition back into place.
Interesting.
Maybe not perfectly the first shake.
Sure.
Maybe it takes some time.
Yeah.
But some people gets in there pretty well.
Pretty quickly. Yeah.
Which releases the muscle that's taut, that's being pulled by the bone. That muscle that's taut helps control part of the grip. Then all of a sudden the grip increases. I see it every day, all the time. In fact, we've been doing experiments with people. I just have them shake their arm with the intelligent threads on.
Right.
And their grip increases. Their grip strength increases. Because now they can utilize. Yeah, well, they can utilize those muscles.
Wow. Crazy, man.
Yeah, so there's other movements too, but there's really simple, easy stuff. And so I would love for somebody to be able to put the myoequilibration on, intelligent threads, do a few stretches, and fix themselves. Or at least help their structure get back at the anatomically correct position.
Right.
And then see how they do.
Wow.
If they can get a 20% reduction in pain, I think it's worth it. But I think they can get more.
Right. Well, man, that's great stuff. It's
a little more.
I know, a little more in depth with intelligent threads, and great questions. I'm sure we'll have more after all of these questions to go into even more detail.
For sure.
But that's why we're doing this podcast is education and building the knowledge base of intelligent threads and everything that it's capable of.
Yeah, I think it's important.
Yeah. Nice job, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, because it's so different, I think we had to do something like this to help people start to grasp the concept of it. Right. Because there is no other thing to compare it to.
Right.
So I think it's important.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Thanks, man.
No problem.
It's a structural thing. Sponsored by Well, we don't have any sponsors at this point, so it seems oddly self-serving to sponsor ourselves. But, oh well. Intelligent Threads, powered by Myo-E technology. The first athletic wear able to release and relax muscles with no wires or external power sources. The technology in the material helps your muscular and skeletal structure reset by releasing the tight muscles in your body. Yes, real muscle release in this new wearable technology. Now, why aren't you wearing one? Visit Intelligent Threads on Facebook, Instagram, our website, www.intelligentthreads.com, and see us on our YouTube channel. It's a structural thing. Activating your body to its full potential. The future of preventative and recovery wear is here. Be activated. Thank you for joining It's a Body Structure Thing. I'm Ron Buford, along with Brian Brzezinski. Please join us for our next episode. Visit Intelligent Threads and like us on Facebook, Instagram, watch us on our YouTube channel, and listen to the podcast. Visit the website at www.intelligentthreads.com. For SRM, Synergy Release Method, find us on our website at www.srmethod.com.